What's up, guys? SyntheticDivision here. So this device right here is the Gamma 650 Duo from Satoshi. You may notice I have a fan there already. It's going to be an interesting one, guys. So current temps on the device, 48 on the ASIC, 54 on the voltage regulator. The reason I put it in here is because I had to work, and I didn't want to leave this unattended on my desk, and I'll explain to you guys why. So hang in there just a second. By the way, the temperature in this room is 64 degrees right now because I have the windows open. So let's go over to the desktop and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, guys, so we're back. We're at the desktop. I'm going to show you real quick. We've done a 10-minute burn-in. I want you to look at those temps, 52 and 69. Now, I'm sure it's still got a little bit of chooch left in its guns to get it to room temperature. My office temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Also, I want you to notice something. 405, 1200. So I'm going to show you something I'm going to show you what happens when I set it to the defaults. One, this error message on top is annoying. I don't know why it's there. I've tried to search it up. It sounds like it's more related to the fact that I'm not on a Bitcoin solo pool, but that's besides the point. Let's go over here. Let's go into our settings. I have the overclock settings open, and the reason I do is because I had to fine tune it. So we're going to remember 405 and 1200. So the default that I got it at was 400 and 1150. And I turned up the fan speed, but the fan speed was 25 when I got it. Let's turn down the fan speed. We'll put it at 28 because it's hard to do on the phone. We're going to save it. Then once those clear out of the way, we're going to restart. So this could be a major issue for the non-tinkerers, the guys that just want to set it up and kind of go. But I want you to pay attention to hash rate, error rate, and stuff like that. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you the temps too. So we'll start right here. Let's see. Look at the error rate just start to skyrocket. 24% error rate. Now it's down to 4. And that's where it's shipped at about 4% error rate, which isn't terrible. 2% under is optimal. So that's default settings right there. Okay. Now I'm going to do a burn in and I'm going to let it go for however long. We're dropping down to 2.76%. That's a pretty good solid spot. Doing okay there. I'm on Mining Dutch, and I think that's why it's throwing that up there. That's kind of annoying. I don't know why it's doing that. Again, I did some searching and just couldn't really find an answer that I was expecting. The efficiency is great, 15.79. But my goal is always to get that error rate as low as possible and get the most hash rate, but also still be efficient. But look at the voltage regulator. We've only been on for maybe a minute or two, and it's already starting to climb. Out of the box, this device kind of made me worry because I haven't checked on what particular voltage regulator this has, but I'm going to. Some of these voltage regulators are only regulated or only good until 90C. That's their thermal limit. And we always play the 80% rule. You never want to push it to its thermal limit. You want to keep it at 80%. Well, we've exceeded 80% now. Now, I will again check on this and make sure, but this is an unsafe range. That's not good. And the reason it's doing that is it doesn't have enough input voltage, or sorry, it doesn't have enough frequency or measured ASIC voltage. It's undervolted right now. So undervolt increases amp draw, which on a buck converter, aka voltage regulator, increases heat. This is a buck converter and not necessarily a voltage regulator, a lateral voltage regulator. So it's not converting just 12 volt to 5 volt, it's converting 5 volt to 1.3 to 3.3 to other different, and 1.14 volts. So It's overworking the voltage regulator right now in its stock form, and we're about to hit 76C. This is how it came out of the box. I have the video of me setting up my tutorial video about how to set up a Bitaxe. This was the device I used, and it's just kind of wild. This could be a potential problem, and now I'm going to try to see if I can replicate the other problem I had. So I'm going to go ahead and go. What I did is I went over to my network settings and I changed the name. So we're going to go. When I initially set it up, I set it up like this, okay? And then I went back and I was like, well, I want to change it to SoloSat underscore Duo 650. So I'm going to add an I to that, and we're going to come here. We're going to save and then restart. And I'm going to see if it did what it did before, where it just got out of control. So we save it. It's just restarting now. So watch the error rate. Okay. We're connected. Now watch the error rate. Okay, it drops. Okay. So maybe it won't do it again this time. So what it did do, and this might have been just a fluke, but it happened on the GT801 that I'll be showing you later on, is it just spiked out of control. And I was able to replicate it once or twice, but I haven't been able to replicate it again. But like the hash registers down here were all blacked out. The error rate was over 1,000%. And it was just getting really mad. And the voltage regulator was spiking. So right now, out of the box, 400, 1150, we're undervolt. We're undervolted. And that undervolt is creating this excessive heat issue on the voltage regulator. So let's go back to settings. We're going to go 405 and 1200. 405 and 1200. And push this back to 50. 50% on the fan. And then we're going to save it and restart. Once that clears out of the way, restart. Always restart after your fan settings. You don't have to restart after you're changing your overclock settings, but and then we'll come back to the dashboard. So when I took off the undervolt and volted it correctly, the error rate stayed down lower. It spikes at first, but it goes back down. The efficiency goes up a little bit. It's not the greatest efficiency, but I found that the voltage regulator doesn't go as hard. This was the settings I found to get it to be in check without being massively overclocked, because I'm afraid if I overclock it, it's just going to go out of control. So I'm going to move the camera real quick and I'm going to set you up, and I think we need to have a little bit of a discussion. I'm going to set it up to where you can see, we can try to pinpoint the hot spots on the back of the board, because this is a different board. It has two ASICs instead of one. This is the Duo, the 650 Duo. So let's change the camera position real quick and talk about it. Okay, so we're back here to the desktop. We got a little bit of a different position. Kind of crazy, guys. The one thing I want to stress to you guys is, and this is why I always test my devices here on my desk before I move them to my other room. You got to get those temps right and in check. If they're not in check and you just set it and go, there could be a major problem. And this is a prime example of that. I have a very good known power supply that I use. I leave it there and I leave it on my desk to test it out. What I worry about is this is advice for the guys that are tinkering. Imagine you're the new guy and you're set it up on your computer or next to your desk or wherever, and you just want it, you punch in your Bitcoin address and that's it, and you just let it go. I have a sneaking suspicion that this thing would probably hurt itself over time. Again, you're not trying to push the thermal limits in stock settings and have no active cooling to help. Now, you're getting a little bit of, this comes with a built-in heatsink right here, and I can show you that. It's got a built-in heatsink, but it's on the front of the board when one of the hotspots, and we'll take it out. And I'm going to try to do this carefully while it's running. We're gonna hold this just like this, and we're gonna pinpoint hotspots on here. So if this is built just like a gamma, so if we look at it right there, those two caps are cooking. Voltage regulator cooking. Inductor coil cooking. Caps right there cooking. On the back of the board, those are actually warm. A heatsink on the back there might actually do some good. That chip right there cooking. Everything is way too warm. I mean, I look at it like that. So just a heads up, guys. When you buy devices, not necessarily just the 650 Duo. I've bought the bulk axes. If you remember the video series about those came to me completely overclocked, 600, 1200. That's dangerous. That's asking for a device to just burn up. So, anyways, guys, I wanted to throw that out here. I'm probably going to do a video about heatsink placement on this guy. I know the heatsink placement is it's all over the board as far as how people do it, but this is how I'm going to do it. I am going to use aluminum heat sinks. Now, my whole goal with this is actually going to be the 7th Bitaxe in my new bit track rack from Avoidbit, and I want this one to be, I want to make sure I can actually cool it. So I just want to throw that out there, guys. Be really careful with these devices. Like I said, this one, if I would have left it in its stock configuration, it's winter time right now. It might be okay, but there's days where my basement gets to 75 degrees, 80 degrees sometimes, and I have to come on and turn the AC on. That would be detrimental to this device. That could induce like an overheat or over voltage. The undervolt on it is already creating a problem, so we don't want to add to it. So anyways, guys, I'm going to conclude this video real fast. Be careful. Check your devices. Set them in a temperature controlled room and let them go for a little bit, monitoring the temps. And if, in my case, where I had to go to work, I set it up in my other room and let it use in a colder room with a fan to keep it cool until I could get home and readdress the problem. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. Again, no hate to anybody on this, but it could be a real big issue. So, if you've had any issues with a 650 Duo or any issues with any other Bitaxe, hit me up. I'm interested to know. Put a comment down below. Um, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.